Hello and welcome to my art update podcast thingy. This is update number 53, Looking Ahead. This podcast is designed to keep people who know me, Andrew Woolner, up to date about what is going on for me artistically. Some life updates might get rolled into that because art imitates life, life imitates art, imitation is art or life or something like that. Anyway, the point is that maybe you aren't interested because you don't know me from Eve. If that's you, you are welcome here. But you also don't need to listen. If this update is your entry point, your first episode, actually, it's not a bad one to start with. Other key episodes you might want to check out are number 1, Duh, which goes through the years of my life since I left Canada up to 2021, and number 2, which covers 2022, and number 52, the episode before this one, which covers 2023. Okay, I'm just going to actually bring the tone of my voice down even more because this room is super echoey. I didn't have the energy or the time. I don't get the place to myself here very much. I didn't really have the time or the energy to set up a recording area in the closet. It's a very small closet. So I am recording in the office area, but everything is a hard surface and everything is super echoey. So I'm just going to get right up into the mic here. Okay. In this episode, which is not a bad one to start with, I'm going to look ahead. I've chosen the arbitrary second update of the year to do this because I just did the year in review podcast and it seems like a good time. In some ways, I think this is going to sound like my New Year's resolutions, but I really don't believe in those things. Some things I talk about are kind of like resolutions in that they're things that I want to accomplish this year, but other things will be things that I anticipate happening. I might also complain a little. Let's see where this goes. Also, big apologies for falling behind here. I aim to record 1 update a week under any circumstances, but I've been in Canada since mid-December. If you've been listening, you know that. At my mother's place in Toronto for most of January. And it's very hard to record here. For one, the rooms are all super echoey, as I mentioned before. And for another, I have very little time each week when I'm alone in here. I don't know. It's funny. This is a public podcast. Like it goes out. Anyone can listen to it, but I like to have privacy when I record it. Apologies aside, let's get into looking ahead to 2024, shall we? In 2024, I want to focus less on the product and more on the process. I'm not sure if it's going to be possible, but I want to build some new skills and try new things this year. So let's talk about theater stuff. We've already started talking about the next YTG show, that not you and me, but the group. That's going to be likely to be involved. And obviously we'll be adding more people all the time as interns sign up for the summer. It's likely to go up mid-August as the summer show tends to. Some interesting themes have come out of our discussions, but it's too early to tell which one is going to win out. I might, in my next update, I might talk about some of those. My goals for YTG this year. I want to put an emphasis on a consensus-based creation process. I want to figure out how to best transmit that emphasis and those values to the group. I want to figure out a way of communicating that's more with audience, potential audience, and art lovers, theater lovers. That's more automatic than the newsletter, or find somebody just to take charge of that. I can't just do a RSS feed from the website because most pages undergo several revisions and retranslations before they're ready. So it's hard to automate that unless there's a button. Anyway, I'm just thinking out loud here. Anyway, so yeah, we'll do that big show in August. We'll probably do a second smaller show in the fall winter. That seems to be the pattern. Right, moving on to podcasting. Okay, I do need to focus on product here. So, God damn it, I will finish the Wayward Readers edit. God damn it, we will record more episodes of Does It Hold Up and finally release the show. And hopefully actually record another season of Wayward Readers, but in a much easier to edit format. Photography. Oh, I don't know, man. I'm just going to take photos, I guess. I have ideas for projects that I could do if I had some kind of backing, but without backing, I'm if I'm working on projects that don't have backing, I think theater is where I'm going to focus my energy. I do hope to get a few more corporate jobs to pay rent, so to speak, I don't actually pay rent. I pay mortgage. Yeah, things like old houses are a lot cheaper in Japan than they are elsewhere, in case you think that means I'm super well off. But anyway, yeah, and bills and stuff like that. But it really depends on how badly I've burnt my bridges with this company that's been hiring me, that hired me a couple times last year. Other stuff. Okay, this is a little bit exciting. I bought a little 25 key keyboard / MIDI controller with Christmas money from my aunt. Yeah. So it's an Akai MPK Mini Play. I got that one because it has a speaker in it so that I can potentially like noodle without having to have it hooked up to anything. So it has a bunch of like cheesy synth built-in sounds. And you know what? It's got batteries in it. I can turn it on. So it's just a crappy grand piano sound, but it's got like it's got little drum pads built in. It's really quiet though. Anyway, don't know if any of that was audible. Hopefully it was. Yeah. So yeah, I've got that. I'd also like to get a cheap, like around $200 synth to do some sound design with, but it looks like that kind of gear is actually way cheaper in Japan. So I'm going to have to wait till I get back there. I could do some of this in software. I mean, I know people who do this, a lot of this in software, but I think having knobs and a physical interface is going to make me more likely to try things. I want to try to do some music making this year, some composition, even though I haven't picked up my guitars much in the last 2 years. So, it's not like I'm bored of guitars or anything, but I'd like to try some new stuff musically. I'm kind of inspired by my friend Overslag's improvised music / sound performances, the one particularly that he just did for my last show. And I don't want to do stuff like that. He does very improvisational stuff. I want to actually sort of compose and record, but yeah, he kind of inspired me. The musical side of my personality in general has been neglected for a long time. I think I've been too worried about being a good musician, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I should just make music. I really want to, like I said, focus this year on the process of making art and not sort of worry about what the final product is. And that might be hard to accomplish. Also, time is a limitation because I've got, I sometimes have to focus on what brings home the vegetarian bacon. So yeah, in general, this year I need to find this. So this is an overall thing. I need to find a way to make what I do, which is making art, doing art. I need to find a way to make that sustainable. So I'm going to keep looking for work in Canada that will let me spend part of each year here in Canada, because there's more opportunities for my son. He needs exposure to both languages. I think Kumiko would be interested in opportunities here as well. Yeah. I need to spend more time with my Canadian family, who I've really been neglecting for the last 20 years. So I'm mostly looking for like artistic direction or artistic director adjacent kind of stuff, not really gig-based stuff that is only going to bring me in for like a short period of time. I'm looking for, if not something in that realm that sort of makes use of my experience and the sort of expertise and jack of all tradesness that I have. Yeah, I mean, even that's not an ideal solution unless I can have time off to work on the YTG Summer Show, because that's become such a big part of my life. I really want to continue working and mentoring emerging theater artists, and I want to keep creating things that don't have or need to have commercial appeal. Of course, if I did get an AD job or any other job, obviously these outside artistic pursuits would probably fall by the wayside. I have an idea on how to deal with this in terms of the question of sustainability without having to drop all the balls I've got in the air. But it involves asking people for money, and I'm not great at that. So, yeah. But I have started building an extension to my personal website that's going to include my work as an artist rather than a sort of hire me type of portfolio. And I'm going to launch that along with this little idea I have really soon, I hope. I just need to do some editing. Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of it. Since I'm way behind in updates, you can expect another one that has sort of more granular updates on what's actually going on with the meetings about the show and stuff. You can expect that pretty soon. But so, to summarize, my big projects this year are 1, YTG Summer Show, 2, making music, 3, podcast editing, recording, releasing, 4, taking photos, 5, looking for options to make my life sustainable so that I can do this work and support myself and my family. All right, that's it. Andrew out.